To another Flutter tutorial. In today's episode, let's learn how to build layouts in Flutter. So now that we have learned all the basic widgets in Flutter, it's time for you to create layouts. In this video, we'll take individual widgets and nest them together to create a professional layout. This concept is known as composition and is a huge part of Flutter app development. So for that, let's close this project and create a new one. We will develop this project by each video, and by the end of this tutorial series, you will have all the knowledge to create your own apps. So close this project, select this option, close this folder, and let's run a new Flutter command. Click right here, show and run command, Flutter new project, and then select the option application template, and here you just have to provide a location for your application. So I'm choosing right here Flutter tutorial, and then inside of this folder right here, rent car app. This is the app that we'll be creating. Create a new folder called Flutter _rent car _app. Create and then select the folder. Let's name the application same thing, so Flutter _rent _car app. Enter, and this will generate all the basic structure for our project. So the first thing I want to do inside of this new project is create a new subfolder inside of my root folder called assets, and inside of these assets we have an image folder. Here we'll place all the image that we need inside of our project. So I will leave a link on the description below for the image that we'll use as the cover for our layout. So just let me drag and drop this image right here. So after you creating this assets folder and then a subfolder image, and you drag and drop your image, let's go inside of this folder right here, pub specs, and scroll down until we get to the section right here, assets. Here let's provide the path to our assets. Our image car _ logo inside of this assets folder, and then inside of this image subfolder. So come right here, start typing assets /image, and now you don't have to provide a name for your file. So this will make Flutter will get all the images inside of this image folder, and this will be available for us when you provide a path to render our image. So save everything. As you can see right here, it just reloaded. And if you don't see this option, click on right here on this option to get package. Let's close it, and then let's go inside of this lib folder. I will create a new subfolder right here, and the first one, this will be called pages. And then let's open the main.dart. Let's clean up this file. So close these two classes right here, just delete it, we don't need it. Remove this constant, and this will be called home page for our file. We don't need to provide a title for it. And also let's clean up all these comments right here. Save everything. Now come right here inside of this page, create a new file. Let's call this home _page .dart. You can use stl for stateless widget. Select right here, and here if you start typing home page, you will get this name right here. So here, if you save as it is, let's save it, and now make sure you import this class now. As you can see right here, the path is inside of our Flutter rent car app folder, and then inside of this subfolder pages we get this home _page .dart file. Import it, as you can see right here. Let's save everything, and now let's run our app. So while our app is running for the first time, this will take a few minutes. This is the layout, or this is the app that we'll be building throughout this tutorial series. As you can see, this is the first page. This is the layout we'll create on this video. Let me just zoom in a little bit. As you can see, we have right here this page, and we have two sections right here. You know, if you use a column widget, we can create sections or render more than one widget in a vertical direction. So we can have right here 2 sections inside of a column widget. And then right here in the top, you have just an image displaying right here. And at the bottom, we have 3 texts and then 2 buttons. So we can have right here outer column, and then we have 2 sections. You can use container to create these sections. And then you can have an inner column with a list of text and 2 buttons inside of it. So don't worry about this layout. We'll learn how to create them. Right here you can see right here, this is a list and this is a grid. This is the bottom navigation. You also will learn how to add bottom navigation, and this is the detail page. We have the search page and the results of your searching right here. So as we move forward, you will learn how to create all of this using all the knowledge from the previous videos that we have available in our channel. Okay, this is the result that we have so far. As you can see right here, we just rendered a placeholder right here, and this is not a page per se. So to have something like a real page, Flutter offers us this scaffolding widget. So if you return inside of your build method, this scaffolding widget, we have mainly 2 properties right here. You have the up bar. This will create our up bar, and then you have the body, and this can be a column widget, and let's call the children property and leave it empty for now. This up bar doesn't look so good, so let's change a bit. You can use the property title. If you hover over it, you see this will be a widget, so you can use a text widget, and here you provide a title. Save it to see it, and then you can also use a background color. You can use colors dot blue, let's say, and you have something more like a toolbar. So for this video, we won't need to use this up bar. As you can see right here, we just have a column widget with 2 sections on it. So let's learn how to do that. And by the way, this is not the only way to add colors in Flutter. Now we have available in our channel a post that will teach you all the ways that you can use to add colors in Flutter. Go watch that. Go read that post after you watch this video. So okay, come right here, just remove everything, save it. So let's go into our main.dart and let's remove this debug banner right here. To remove this debug banner, Material App has this property right here, debug show checked mode banner, and this will take a boolean as a value. Let's pass as false, and this will remove this banner right here. So you can close this class now. So now inside of this column widget, inside of this children list, let's create 2 sections right here. This will be first section, and then we have the second section. So we can use containers to create our sections. So start typing container, give it a comma, and let's copy and paste it in the below right here. Save everything. Now let's add a few properties for our column widget. First is the main axis. This we use main axis dot. Let's use the center, and then you can use the cross axis alignment. Call the cross axis unknown dot. Let's use the stretch. So this column will fill all the available space in a horizontal. And then you can call the main size, and then main size dot max. So this will be as large as possible. Save everything. So we don't see it, our container, so let's add a color. Colors dot, let's say amber, and here let's call the colors dot, let's say gray. Let's call the color property first, and then colors class, let's say dot gray. Save it, and we don't see these containers. This is because we don't have any child inside of the container. But if you remember in the video about sizing widgets, we use the expanded widget. So if you come right here and wrap with expanded, and let's do the same thing for the second container, wrap with expanded and save. And now you can see your app is now divided into sections. And if you want to apply ratios to your section, you can use the flex property. Let's say flex 2, and the top section will be bigger than the bottom one. By default, the value is 1. So if I save everything with same value and save, we'll still have the same ratio. Now let's make this top one a little bit bigger. Save. And now let's add our image. You can use a child property and call the image.assetName constructor, or you can use the decoration class. So let's call the decoration box, or box decoration. And inside of this box decoration, the first thing you need to do is remove this color, because inside of this decoration we also have the color property right here. So we're not going to add any colors. What we'll add is an image. This will take this class decoration image, and this decoration image will expect an image provider. So one image provider is an image inside of your assets folder. So you can call right here assets image, and then we just have to provide a path to our image. So right here our image is inside of this assets folder, and then inside of this image subfolder, image / and now you can specify the name of your image dot the extension cards underscore logo JPG. Save. And now we have our image rendering. So let's just do some indentation right here by selecting the yes option, format document, close it. If you hover over this image assets class, you will see you have no properties to define the size of your weight of your image. But inside of this decoration image, we have right here this fit. If you call this property right here fit, and then you call the box fit in none, you will see right here we have few options. We have contain, we have cover, fill height, fill width, none, or scale down. So let's use the cover because we want our image to fill all the available space. Save. And you can see right here, now your image is filling all the available space. So now we have the first section done. Let's work on this bottom section. Okay, now let's do something about the second section. So if you see right here, on the bottom section, we have a curve right here. To do that, you can come right here inside of our container. Let's remove this property right here and call the decoration. And then here, inside of this, you call box decoration. And let's define a few properties for our box decoration. If you hover over it, the first property I want to add is the border radius right here, to make it right here curve from the top left and top right. So to do that, you can come right here and call the border radius property. And here you call the border radius dot vertical. And here you have to specify the top property right here. So let's call the top property. And this will take a radius. Let's call the radius dot circular. And then for the value, let's say 12. Save it. You don't see it right now. This is because by default the scaffolding has a background color as white. So let's change this by calling the background color and call it here colors dot, and you can call the black color. Save. And now besides of this border radius, let's call the color property again inside of our container. And here you call the colors dot, and let's call the white color. Okay, now you have right here your bottom container. So if you want to make this more curvy, just increase the size right here. Let's say now 25. So the second thing I want to do is coming right here now inside of our container. And now instead of, first of all, let's format this document. And now after this box decoration, let's call this child property. Now let's call the inner column. And here let's provide the children property. Save everything. The first child is the text widget with this text right here. So let's copy this text, come right here, call a text widget, and then let's add this text, give it a comma, call another one, text widget, and now let's copy the second text, paste it right here, give it a comma, and let's call the third text widget, and this will be this text right here. Let's edit this text, give it a comma, save everything, and here you have your 3 texts. And now let's style each one of them. So call this style property and then call this text style class. We want to add the font size, so this will be 36, give it a comma, and then from the font weight, let's call the font weight none dot bold. Save everything, as you can see right here. And also let's change the color by calling the color. Let's call the color, and now let's call this method from alpha, right, green, and blue method. So this will be 355, and for the value this will be 6. This also be 6, and for the blue this also will be 6. Save everything. So right here, let's do something about the second text widget right here again. So style, call this text style property, and here let's call this font weight, and for the font weight this will be font weight, let's call this 300 right here. Save it, and also let's increase the font size. So for this one 36, let's call this one 34. Save it. So let's call this, change this right here for font weight to be, let's say 500 right here. Save it. Actually, let's make it 400. Save it. And now for the last text widget, give it a comma, call the style property, and here let's just increase the font size a little bit. So font size, this will be 16. Save everything. And now, besides of using this style class, you can also use the align property, and this will take the text align in. Let's say this will be center. Save everything. And now if you want to add space among each text widget, you come right here and just wrap them with padding widget, and for the padding this will be 16. Save everything. Let's do the same thing for this second text widget, wrap with padding widget, and then for the value will be 16. And for this last one, let's do the same thing. So now we have space among each text widget. If you want to decrease the value, you can come right here and call this, let's decrease it to be 14 for this middle one, and then 14 for this one. Actually, let's make all of them 14. Save everything. And now after this text widget, we have now 2 buttons. We have right here this fill button and this outline button. So right here, after this padding widget, let's add first button. Copy this one. Second button right here. So this will be the filled button. Here you provide a callback method, and then for the child this will be a text widget, and for the text will be get started. Save everything. And now if you want to style this button, to look like the one in the right here in the layout, you call the style property. Actually, the style have to be before this child. Always make sure this child is the last property inside of any widget that you are using. And here you can call this static class right here, fill button dot, and then you can call this method style from. And here you can specify a background color. Let's call the color property. Actually, just copy this value right here for the color and just paste it here. Give it a comma, and then for the foreground color, you can call the colors dot white to give it a contrast. Save everything. And now if you want to make it size and responsive, to make it bigger, you can come right here and select the option wrap with size box widget. But I also want to add some margin to it, so I will use this container widget instead. Here you provide the width with the value of double dot infinity, and then let's add some margin. And for the margin, let's call the agility set dot symmetric, and here you call the horizontal property, and the value will be 16.0 for the pixel. Save. So for the second one, just copy this container widget and paste it right here. Make sure you give it a comma after this container, and just change the button. Instead of using this fill button, let's call this outline button, and then copy the name of this class and change it for this style class right here. And for the text, this will be skip. Save everything. As you can see, because we have this background color, this button is looking like a filled button. So just come right here, change this background color to foreground color. So just come right here, copy this foreground color property, paste it here, and then delete this extra code and save it. So if you want to add more space among each item on top and at the bottom, you can also come right here inside of this inner column before the first padding widget and call the spacer widget. And here you provide the flex property with the value of 1. Give it a comma, copy this class again, and let's add also a space among this text widget and these buttons right here. So paste it here before this first container for the button. Save. And also if you want to add some margin at bottom, paste right here. Save it. And this is how you can lay out your widgets in Flutter. Let's increase this a little bit, so let's use the value of 2. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward to create your layouts and design your apps in Flutter. We brought all the knowledge from the previous video inside of this one to create this layout. So this is it for this video. In the next video, let's learn how we can flat this page right here, this home underscore page. As you can see, because Flutter is very verbose, this code can easily become hard to maintain. In the next video, let's learn how to refactor it using a constant, a method, or a stateless widget. So this is it for this video. One way you can help our channel is by hitting the subscribe button and get notification when new videos are coming out, and also by liking this video. See you on the next one.